gentlemen, start.
All right, good evening and welcome to Jack Dodsons Racing Insider News with the legend Scott Allen and Reese Nobles over there in the, I don't know, he's over there in his suit.
He comes up with all kinds of saying. We got one fan that watches the show and he called him a fan watcher.
Well, I lost a bet with Grayson Raz, who's obviously the best driver of our time. And gotta wear this now.
Yeah. I ain't gonna say nothing.
I don't know why the heck this thing keeps doing this.
Like what 2 weeks. What are you doing, man? What are you doing?
I ain't got no control over the camera. It's like the last 3 or 4 weeks things
Hey,
gone.
last week it cut me out a little bit.
There you go. We're back.
Gone kind of crazy.
No, we're not. Anyway, we're gonna keep talking while this is going on. But anyway,
I have to get a
like
new
radio.
camera.
got
Well, we got a face for radio.
we got a lot of news that came out today for the first day of the media tour down in Charlotte, which I was hoping I was going to get to go down and be a part of, but I didn't get the chance. But let's talk about a couple of the changes. The first one I thought was very interesting. In the truck series, the 20-minute caution thing.
Boy, don't get me started on this.
It's.
I don't understand it. I mean, I understand what they're doing, but
We're trying to make it exciting.
you're manufacturing cautions that's going to breed more cautions.
Oh, yep.
And then you're going to have all these crazy restarts that they have. And the only place they're not doing it is Talladega and Daytona.
And Eldora.
And Eldora. Yeah. Eldora.
But then the Dash for Cash, they're doing it for them?
No,
it's just the trucks.
That's just the trucks this year. And it's... I was listening to them on the way down the road today, and one of the things that was being said on Sirius XM was they went back and looked, and last year that caution would have only come into play one time.
Really?
He said the longest run the trucks had all year long was 48 laps.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
So it wouldn't have come in, or 48 minutes. I didn't mean laps. 48 minutes. And it would only come into play one time. And they're saying maybe you make on some of the bigger tracks or the mile and a half, you may run into it one time a race where that's going to come out. It's supposed to bunch everybody back up. Well,
it depends on what side of the fence you're on. I mean, if you're kind of in the middle of the pack and you're working on your stuff, you're going to want that caution to work on your car.
I don't even.
Well, what about?
I think somebody's a little salty.
Oh,
What about-
I'm salty.
What about the strategy? You know, they say it's going to be they say it's going to be more strategy, but it's not. If you look at it, to me, it's not. If you look at it, you don't have to set your car up for a long run or truck up for a long run now because you know in 20 minutes or a caution, you're coming back.
Now, see, what I look at is casual fans like crashes.
Right.
I'd rather see a fuel mileage race than some crash fest.
Well,
This is just trying to breed crashes. I mean, you're just trying to pander to people who have short attention spans, give them breaks between races. It's stupid.
I get tired sometimes in the car after a few laps.
I mean, I understand you get tired.
But
I understand you get tired, but
I understand their point. I don't really like it, but
well, it's just one of those things they're going to try to see what it does,
and they're quick too. If it doesn't seem to be popular or doesn't work as well as they think
why
it
is
will,
the chase still around?
they're quick to bring it back because the chase has worked.
I don't like it.
Well, I was very resistant to both chase formats.
Yeah.
I like the old traditional style, but I will say, since the whole chase thing has started, the last 10 races are exciting, and this last 2 years of this chase is really exciting.
I like the last 2 years, but the years where Jimmy was just dominating, that's partly just because he had a dark car.
Well, I mean, they took some gambles. It wasn't always just a good car. I mean, they took some gambles and won some races, and it worked out for them. But it drives a lot of interest. It drove great sponsorship selling ability to teams to say, hey, we made the chase, or if we make it, you get all this publicity.
And how about but because of this, even though Bass Pro Shops was He was a personal sponsor or
Yeah.
whatever. Now Bass Pro Shops is going on the 78 car 9 races this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just announced that.
So and that's because of they were there, the Final Four. They were part of that Final Four. So that's going to be a big deal there. Now we're going to talk about the Dash for Cash. 4 races, Dash for Cash. Bristol, Richmond.
Dover, I think was no.
I don't know.
I can't remember which
I
one.
think
that
it
was.
is Dover. Dover and Indianapolis.
I know Richmond's the first one.
Yeah.
Dash for Cash. And then you're going to qualify, and then you're going to run a heat race, and then you're going to race. All in the
Yeah.
same day.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
And the question was asked today, and I don't know if y'all watched a lot of the
I watched a little bit. Yeah.
question was asked, what is the team going to do if they get into a crash in the heat race? And he say it's going to be the same thing as if you were qualifying, you wrecked. You pull the backup car out.
Are you still penalized for
But
it?
the thing, yeah, you still
You
be
probably have to
penalized.
go to the
What?
back.
But you're still pulling the backup car out. And they say it's the same, it's the very same thing. But now you're talking about a time frame. I don't understand how you can. That means you're going to have your backup car ready when you comes off the truck.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably going to have to be pretty close, which it should be anyway.
Yeah, but a lot of teams have to do a lot of switching back and forth. We went down there and saw how they switched seats and all this other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It takes time to do that stuff. So how does that work out? I don't know. One half of the field is going to, if you qualify on an odd number, you're going to run one heat. You qualify an even number, you're going to run another heat. And then the 2 top cars are automatically locked into the Dash for Cash. Who?
See, I don't care. I just like racing. I don't. All this gimmicky crap is just not worth it. Let's just race. Settle it on the track.
But now the one thing I do agree with, and I'm like you, the chase for the Xfinity cars and the trucks.
Stupid thing.
I think that's going to be. He's disagreeing with us, but
I'm just
you might as well get used to it. You'll be disagreeing with us a lot.
Don't worry.
But the thing about it is, I see where that's going to bring.
Sponsorship.
That's going to bring them some help.
Well, I think it'll bring interest because it's
Yeah.
going to drive people
Yeah,
to
it will.
watch.
Yeah, because
Like the Richmond race, when it comes down to chase drop off. This past year, it wasn't as exciting as it has been in the past years, but it always drives interest for those races, and
Yeah,
sponsorship's
it
going to
does.
want to be
It does.
involved.
and what about the fact that at Homestead,
I like that.
if you're running for the chase, the chase in other divisions, you can't run the Homestead.
Well, no.
race.
What I read was that if you ran for the Chase Cup this year, you can't run Homestead next year. I don't know if it was a typo or if it was meant to be.
No, the way I heard it explained, and I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but I thought is if you're running for the chase, if you were in the chase in another division, which really means Cup,
Yeah, Cup.
you can't come down and run at Homestead.
I mean, I could see that because
I-
you don't want you interfering with what they got going on. Let that series, because those 2 series, well, the truck series, it needs a little boost, but it has its own identity,
It's
and
gonna need a
and
lot of boost now.
Xfinity just doesn't have its own
And
like it did when it was the Busch series.
but I didn't realize, and I could be wrong. I did again, but I didn't realize that when they were talking about doing the chase in the trucks, they were only looking at 13 full-time teams last year that ran full-time.
I didn't know that.
So then you're looking at 13 teams, so they decreased theirs to 8.
Yeah.
Their chase is 8 cars or 8 trucks. So I didn't realize. I thought it was more than that, but
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought about it either.
No, I would never give it a second thought. Although it makes sense now.
Yeah.
so anyway, a couple of driver things we got to mention. Landon Castle going over to Front Row Motorsports.
It's not official yet.
Not official, but
Sounds
Pretty
like it.
much.
He's shopping. He's taking the sponsor with him.
it's not official, but it is official. Okay.
So kind of like
No, it's kind of like I already know what the deal is. Okay, 'cause I've already checked into this. I have a friend at Front Row Motorsports, don't we? Oh, you don't know. What am I talking about?
what does he know?
And you're never mind. And David Reagan's going over to Front Row Motorsports now. I'm not sure how that's going to work. I mean, I don't know who's somebody's leaving over there. I don't know who it's going to be.
J-Ski has him on all 3 cars.
But now also at Front Row Motorsports, you got Chris
they're
Buescher.
going from.
You got Chris Buescher.
Well, he's
there.
a done deal. I mean, that's when. But they're saying going from 3 teams back down to 2 again.
So then they have to cut Jeb Burton. They have to cut.
No, Jeb Burton.
Oh, sorry.
Is that?
Sorry, we were talking about that earlier. I got confused.
Yeah, at BK Racing.
Yeah.
So I don't.
He has sponsorships. I don't think he's leaving. Now, what about we got Ray Black that did his first year in the Truck Series and did really well in the first half of the season. It wasn't supposed to be, but it turned out to be.
Okay.
And he's going Xfinity racing. I forget with who.
Dakota Armstrong is moving over to JGL Racing for next year.
Mm-hmm.
Left Richard Petty Motorsports. I understand Richard Petty Motorsports is not going to have an Xfinity car for next year.
Yeah.
So that's kind of different. But I was listening on the XM today. They were talking about Chris Buescher being at Front Row Motorsports. That's going to have a Front Row Motorsports title to it. That car has nothing to do with Front Row Motorsports. Bob Osborne's coming with him.
Right.
So I mean,
it's all but. I'm really surprised they didn't pull one of their other teams, and Chris didn't go in one of them. Chris has done a really good job for what equipment they got.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done an exceptional job. Because let's face it, the Cup team, and I know they've pouring a lot of resources over the winter.
Their Cup team singing to high heaven.
Yeah, but they're putting a lot of resources in it this off season. So I'm curious.
I don't know where Stenhouse's contract.
I think it's next year. I think it's this
so.
year.
This could be a stopgap measure until Stenhouse is gone. That's the way I see it. Or Trevor Bain. I don't know where Trevor Bain's contract is.
I think Trevor Bain ends after next year.
Is it next year or the year
I think
after? I thought that was a 3-year deal with that Xfinity ride and sponsorship, I thought. But I don't know if this was their second year or first year.
I know Bain and Biffle are the same year.
Yeah, so Bain, he may be the odd man out in the Cup car next year, or the other one. So
I mean, he's the worst performing of the three. So yeah,
Stenhouse got to do something. I mean,
we got to give a shout out to our local guy, Brandon Godovic. He's got him a 24-hour ride at Daytona.
That's wild.
Yeah, and then Rick's bringing over. I can't think of his name now.
Anthony Company.
Yeah, he came over and ran a few races last season, but he's going to run Daytona, and I think they got 3 or 4 races kind of loosely put together for him, and then Brandon's going to run 6 to 8. So they got some opportunities there for other people to come in, but and since he took it over, I mean, some of the races that they've run, they've done fairly well. I think they've done a little better job than previous the team itself.
Yeah, Viva when they were there.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be the 46 opposed to the 55 from last year.
And I'm just going to say one thing. I wasn't there Saturday afternoon.
Oh, boy.
At the arena races.
Well, I don't think we can get into it because Kaitlyn's getting ready to call.
Yeah, that's the reason why I said I'm not going to say it, but one thing about it. Congratulations to Camden Tesson. He won a A-main. Larry Murphy won the top dog. And after that, I'm not going to say nothing else. We'll leave it at that.
You ain't never just said that.
Well, I mean, we ain't got much time, and I'm not going to say anything.
They just say the arena racing was
that.
Extremely entertaining.
It's going to be a fun last 2 races.
I think we're halfway in the season. There's 5 or 6 races left.
Yeah, there's about, I think it's 6, 7, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
It's gonna be.
But you know what? The fans, I guarantee you, loved it.
Oh, I'm sure. I loved it.
And they're gonna love it because these guys are gonna race each other, and they're gonna race each other hard.
No.
Cody's the big dog. You know, he's the champion. He's winning a lot of the races, and you got Camden is trying to prove himself, racing him hard. And
I didn't see the points. You know where the points?
I know last week it was Camden down by 11, I think.
11.
Yeah.
I think he.
All right, here's our first call for the night.
9, I think. Oh, he's excited.
Good evening, and how are you doing tonight, Miss Kaitlyn Vincie?
I am doing great. How are y'all doing?
We are great, and we are really glad to have you on. We call you one of our own, being from around the Langley Speedway.
Well, I'm very excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, good. And hey, before we get started on the racing thing, you amazed me. I saw on Facebook where you were doing the singing thing down in Nashville. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I know. I think I caught a lot of people by surprise with that a little bit, but and I was in Nashville with her, and I just was like, hey, I'd love to sing with the band and do a couple songs on set. So it just kind of came to fruition, and they had performed at a number of racetracks last year on the Sprint Cup circuit. So the plan is just kind of to book some shows for them on the Sprint Cup circuit again this season. I'll just go hop on stage and sing a couple songs with them, and just have a cool little hobby outside of the racing career, essentially.
Well, now, are we going to be able to see this around, possibly around Richmond or somewhere where we can see you sing?
Well, yeah, I definitely have Richmond on a list of places I'd like to have the band come, because it's pretty close. Virginia is a pretty close proximity to Tennessee, since it's still on the East Coast. So, yeah, I mean, that's definitely a possibility.
So are you back in Charlotte now, getting ready with the media tour and stuff? Are you back there?
Yes, I am in Charlotte. The media tour, the first day was today. So we have 2 more days of fun at the Hall of Fame to get ready for the 2016 Sprint Cup season.
Now, I know you are you going to be doing the trucks again this year? And
yes, you said the truck series?
Yeah, you going to be with the truck series this year?
Yep, yeah. I don't think I'm going to do all of the races, but similar to last season, I just did kind of a combination of Sprint Cup events, doing like the race day pre-race show, race out during the week, and then I did do some select truck series races as a pit road reporter as well. So I think it's going to be a very similar type of schedule for this season.
Hey, Kaitlyn, we know you started at Langley, but how did you get started in doing broadcast stuff? I mean, what got you going in that direction?
Even when I was in high school, I knew I wanted to do sports journalism. And I was a sports editor of a school paper just at the high school level. But when I was in college, I went to a race at what was formerly Lowe's Motor Speedway, now it's Charlotte Motor Speedway. And it was an all-star race, and I had pit passes, and I absolutely loved it. The team dynamic and seeing the race cars up close and the way the teams and mechanics and stuff worked on them. And I think I looked at NASCAR as a big challenge. If I was able to learn that sport and, learn the ins and outs of it, I felt like, okay, I would have accomplished something, because I truly believe it's one of the most challenging sports to learn. So that kind of is what sparked the interest in NASCAR specifically, and then I just started working towards that. Fortunately, I had opportunities at Langley Speedway for 2 years that really allowed me to cut my teeth at that grassroots level of racing. But when I say grassroots, it's kind of ironic because there were guys like Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace. They were coming out competing at Langley in the K&N Series, and now they're the featured stars of NASCAR. So it's been an interesting trajectory for their career and mine as well.
So what would you give? We got a guy, Reese, here, and he's kind of following in the similar footsteps. What kind of advice would you give him?
I would definitely advise him to test out the digital side. That was one thing I did in tandem with my work at Langley. I was doing home videos, essentially. I had bought a green screen and a lighting system. I had set it up in the spare room of my house, and, just using a MacBook, I was shooting NASCAR reports and sticking them on YouTube, and NASCAR Illustrated saw them and started using them for their website. So the digital and the social media space is a great place to get started. A lot of racetracks will hire on-camera talent to host race weekend for their big screen or for their website or whatever it is. So that's a whole other area that allows you to hone your on-camera skills and still get to talk racing, but you're not obviously at the national level. Or you could always go the local news route and try sports. I did that for a little bit with an internship, but I just knew that news wasn't for me. So that was kind of why I veered away from that.
Kaitlyn, hi. I am Reese. Speaking of Langley, what do you think about the way the track's going right now?
The way the track is going right now?
Yeah, as far as the ownership problems.
For Langley Speedway?
Yes.
I think that racetrack is such a cool little place on the circuit. Obviously, it's close to my heart, and I'm friends with all the guys that still run and operate it, and I know they have a lot of cool things in the works, and I've been meaning to get back there. It's just difficult when you are traveling as much as I do, but Langley is such a cool place to go check out racing action, the night events. I mean, it's a fun atmosphere, and I love spending my weekends there for 2 years.
Well, they're having a little problem with the contract over there this year, and there is a possibility, I don't know how much of one, that Langley's not going to open. So that's really a sad thought for us around this area.
Oh my goodness, I was not aware of that. That's the first I've heard that.
Yeah, so we're not really sure where that's headed. We're hoping Bill Mollison, I think Bill's going to work hard to get it, but you never can tell how those things are going to go. And being that you cut your teeth at Langley Speedway, tell us who some of the people you used to hang around with over at Langley that that you get to see now in a bigger light other than Chase Elliott.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned him, Chase, obviously, Bubba Wallace, also doing the Drive for Diversity combines were held at Langley Speedway. So I see a lot of the same faces, and it's been really neat to watch a lot of those drivers move up through the ranks, and that's why those NASCAR home tracks are so important to help these young racers establish themselves both with the fan base and hone their driving skills. So it's a great platform, and it's a great place for them to start, and I think it's important that we still have a lot of those NASCAR home tracks, running regular races week in and week out, and to help a lot of these guys who may not have a lot of funding, to shoot straight to Xfinity truck or what have you. This is the place for them.
Now, I don't know if you were there today when NASCAR made its announcement on all the things that they put into effect. What are some of your thoughts on the changes that they're implementing next year or this year?
I'm very excited, honestly, about the announcement that they're going to have a chase format for both the Xfinity and the Truck Series. And I would agree with Brian Franz in the sense of that now it will be consistent across all three series. And I also like what he said about the fact that now, drivers and trucks and Xfinity will have this type of playoff, if you want to call it that, format that will help prepare them once they do make it to the Cup level and they can see what it's going to take to win a championship. Because the two formats were obviously very different, running just based on points versus how the Cup Series was doing their playoffs. So now Xfinity and truck guys will get that same experience of the chase, and that will better prepare them if they move up to the ranks of the Sprint Cup level.
Well, Kaitlyn, in your time that you've been probably with Fox and up there in covering the Cup and everything, what is one of your favorite moments that you've seen in your career so far?
My favorite moments. Oh my goodness. That's I'm not on the risk of sounding cliche. I mean, it truly was incredible last season to watch Kyle Busch do what he did, because when almost this time of year going Daytona, some of us wondered if he would be able to race again. I mean, we knew he probably would, but it was a scary wreck, and he had been out for weeks, and the thought of a championship just didn't seem possible. But what he was able to accomplish last season was just unbelievable, and that's certainly a memory that's going to stick out to me. Just total comeback kid in every possible way. And that was pretty neat to watch, not just on the driver's side, but the whole team effort of that 18 crew, the rotation of drivers that were filling in for Kyle, and that team being able to acclimate themselves to all those different drivers. And then when Kyle came back, they jumped right into it, were able to knock off all those wins, secure their spot in the stage. I mean, that's just unbelievable. You don't see stuff like that in many other pro sports.
No, you don't. And now, in some of the interviews you've done, I enjoy watching you do some of your one-on-one interviews. As far as your, the show, the Race Hub or whatever. Who was one of the people that you were most in awe of when you did your interviews with them?
Probably Jeff Gordon. I remember the first interview I did with Jeff Gordon was at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and he was running some special like Ninja Turtles paint scheme or something like that. But I was able to, talk to him about that, and then obviously racing stuff as well. But just being in his presence and everything that he means to the sport, means to our fans, it was a big moment for me, and that is certainly one I will never forget. And it truly is surreal now to consider him a coworker, because he'll be joining us obviously in the Fox Sports booth in 2016 and beyond.
Yeah, my son works over at Hendrick, and it was really cool to be a part of that last 2 years that Jeff was there.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, go ahead.
So what was your first moment or opportunity to do some of the big stuff, and what was it?
My very first interview was with Speed Channel before we became Fox Sports 1, and it was an interview with Kevin Harvick, and it was at his Golf Classic up at one of the country clubs. And I remember I was still in that phase of my career where I got really nervous, and I just was not, comfortable per se on camera. But he was super cool. But I still laugh about that moment, and somehow a photographer had captured a photo of it, and it was hanging in KHI back when KHI was still open. And Kevin's business manager actually mailed that copy of that photo to me, so I can have it forever, which is super cool for me.
That's funny. I was wondering if he didn't play a joke on you, because he's he's quite a prankster.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot of interesting, I guess, memories and stuff to choose from, but yeah.
Well, Kaitlyn, we appreciate the time you spent with us tonight. It's really great to have you. We consider you one of our own up here in Langley Speedway country, and hopefully we'll see you around the racetrack and be able to come up and talk to you and carry on a conversation with you sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. You said your son works at Hendrick. Is he on the 24?
He's on the 24. He's Jeff Dodson. Lee Dodson.
I love Lee. Tell Lee that I said hello. That is great. I thought so. Okay.
Yeah, that's him. So
Lee acts a lot. Lee acts a lot better than Jack. So don't.
I ain't gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. But anyway, we appreciate your time tonight, Kaitlyn. Thanks a lot, and hopefully we can get you back on again sometime real soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime, I would be happy to do so. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.
Everybody loves Lee, don't
they? That's kind of funny.
Well, I figured she knew him.
Well, I knew she knew him.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had that conversation before, but that was a long time ago. And of course, her son. Listen to me. Her boyfriend is the interior man for Jimmy Johnson. So
He's been over there for a while.
Yeah.
So next, we're gonna have Jerry Nadeau, and Jerry's got a very interesting story. He was at Richmond when he got in that bad wreck, right?
Yeah, that was. And he couldn't feel the entire right side of his body.
I mean, it was a pretty. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he's come back at all.
And he was in really bad shape at one time. I mean, we saw him in Charlotte, and he was still kind of shaky then. And this was like a year or so afterwards. But
you figure? I mean, J.J. Yaley's another one of those guys that had one of his bad head injuries. I mean, and there for a while there, I didn't think he would come back.
Jerry Nadeau is the reason I watched NASCAR.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was about 2 years old, and he's my mom's favorite driver.
Who was he driving for then?
I don't remember. No, 400. It was, I think it was in the 9.
So you're really excited about this?
I am really excited.
Well, here he is. All right. Our next guest is Jerry Nadeau.
4-7.
Hello, Mr. Nadeau. How you doing? You got Jack Dodson and Scott Allen and Reese Nobles here tonight, and we're glad to have you on.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, how are you? It's Jerry. Nadeau.
Hey, how you doing? Well, I'm just saying you got Jack Dodson and Scott Allen and Reese Nobles here tonight, and we really appreciate you taking some time out and being with us, and it's really good to hear from you.
Oh, not a problem. Good to be on board.
I know you got some other stuff going on tonight, so we'll try to keep it kind of short with you, so you won't be tied up with us too long. But Jerry, will you give us a little background on how you got started racing and how you got into the racing career?
Well, I mean, obviously it started when I was young. My dad used to race at a local race arena at the Denbury Fairgrounds in Denbury, Connecticut, and he got me involved in go-karts when I was probably 4 and a half. And we used to go racing on the weekends on Sunday. When he was racing on Saturday night, we'd go up on Sunday up in Poughkeepsie, New York, Kaitlyn, pretty much everywhere. So obviously I got the racing bug at an early age.
So you moved on from that and got. How did you get started in NASCAR? I mean, was it somebody that saw you and put you in a ride, or how did you get started there?
No, well, it was a long road. I did a few. Obviously, I did go-karts until I was probably 16. Then I moved into modified. I also had a dirt sportsman car that I used to run up at Lebanon Valley and Orange County a couple times. And in the meantime, I had some buddies that were interested in helping me, but mainly to go road racing. So I got into the Skip Barber Racing Series and did really well in the Formula Ford. So I think I won like 12 out of 16 races and a lot of good races. I won the $100,000 scholarship to do the back then it was called Barbershop Pro Series, which were all televised on ESPN. And I met a guy by the name of Tom Cotter at Sebring when I qualified on a pole. And he heard me on my interview. I said my ultimate goal is to go NASCAR racing, and he came over and he introduced himself to me, and that was it. Once we did that little interview, I basically packed my bags from Connecticut, and I moved down south, and I worked with him. I drove the Bobby Labonte show car, the Michael Waltrip Country Time Lemonade car around. I do a lot of side jobs, but in the meantime, I was still road racing. And obviously, I was working with Tom Cotter, trying to build my name up. And he wrote a letter, and one team answered, and it was Richard Jackson Motorsports, which I'm pretty sure Morgan Shepherd was driving the car.
Yeah.
And I got into the deal. I was making $250 a week. I was spotting for Morgan Shepherd, cleaning the floors, working with Michael Fatback McSwain, the crew chief, and finally, I was there for a while, and I told Richard, listen, what you going to get into one of your cars, and let's do the ARCA race at Lowe's next month. And he basically said, listen, Jerry, if you can come up with $15,000, I will put you in the ARCA car at Lowe's Motor Speedway. So we did that, and I ended up qualifying like third, and the first race I finished fourth, and then 2 nights later, I ran another race, and I was going for the win, and we hit each other, and I can't remember who won it, maybe Gary Layton or somebody. And I ended up finishing second. And Morgan Shepherd, within that week, Morgan Shepherd went to a new team, and Richard didn't have a driver for the Cup race at Michigan, and he asked me, he says, hey, do you want to do Michigan? And I said, yeah, of course. So I did Michigan, and my first practice in a Cup car, I was second fastest behind Jeff Gordon at the time. And that was it. My career took off in NASCAR.
So you went from sweeping the floors one week to qualifying the next week in racing.
Yeah, it was pretty quick. And, again, I didn't have a whole lot of people behind me. I didn't have a lot of people really teaching me. But, thank God for Tom Cotter and, some of the guys that believed in me. And I made it. And I was there for 5 years until my accident. So yeah, it was a good road. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't trade it for for anything. It's just unfortunately I had a pretty bad head injury, and the doctors said case closed. That's it. Time to move on. So it's been hard. I mean, it's been a hard last 13 years, and it's hard to find that next niche. Especially my whole life's been racing, and then all of a sudden I'm 36 and I can't race anymore.
Now, that conversation had to have been a pretty tough conversation with the doctor saying that you can't do this anymore. I mean, do you still feel physically that you can do it?
At times, if I didn't have loved ones or a family, I would be out there cutthroating it. I wouldn't care.
Right.
But when you have kids and wife and family, mean, especially after a serious accident like mine. I mean, they put me in a sedated coma for, I think it was 21 days. And, you know, when the doctor, who I was really good friends with, Dr. Petty from, you know, with NASCAR, he put his arm on, you know, his hand, he says, Jerry, I love you like a son. I said, do me a favor, find another avenue. You know, just because, you know, I had a lot of concussions in my life. And obviously they came out with that new movie Concussion, and, you know, that's where I'm at. I'm a person that's alive. I look the same. Everybody looks at me and they're like, why aren't you racing? But when you mess with your brain, it's like messing with a computer. If your computer's not right, it keeps shutting down, it keeps locking up. Well, that's my brain. You know, there's times I'm perfect. You know, with a little bit of coffee, I'm great. You know, I have a little bit more excitement and enthusiasm, but, you know, at times it can get tough.
So what is the life of Jerry Nadeau today?
Well, I'm married to a great wife and 2 beautiful girls. I've got a 13-year-old who is pretty... It's tough to grab a hold of a 13-year-old girl, and
Tell me about it.
I love her to pieces. She's from my previous marriage, which I see quite a bit, and I have a new one, which is 8 months old, Jordan. So, yeah, I mean, it's good. At times it can be tough, and obviously it's trying to find my purpose, you know, and, you know, my purpose for 36 years was racing. And matter of fact, I just got back from Oklahoma. I went to the Chili Bowl this weekend with a good friend of mine, Tony Hunt, and watched some good racing, and I saw Rico Abreu win another one.
Yeah, he's the new up-and-coming star, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. He is everything. He's a good person. You know, great statue, and to be himself and what he's done and what he's accomplished over the last few years, it's amazing. I mean, the guy's hot, and you know, I could definitely see him in Cup in you know, probably 2-3 years.
Now, Jerry, since you left racing, we've had Kyle Busch get injured at Daytona, other drivers get injured. How far do you think safety's come since you left racing?
Oh, it's a night-and-day difference. You know, a big crash is probably 40 G's, a big crash. And,
Okay.
you know, back when I was doing it, you know, they didn't have the safer barriers, and we didn't have the best seats and stuff. And, you know, mine was recorded at 121 G's twice in a millisecond, and, you know, they had to get me out of the car. I had a punctured lung and some broken ribs and a fractured vertebrae. But that's all bones. I mean, bones heal quite a bit, but, you know, they heal fast. And obviously when you damage the brain, which I did, the biggest thing that I noticed today is obviously at times maybe my speech and my left side. My left side's pretty numb. You know, it's like, you know, when you sit on the couch and your leg falls asleep or your arm falls asleep and it tingles. Well, my whole left side tingles 24 hours a day. And yeah, there is a drug that you can take that can help the sensation, but it doesn't heal it. And there's really no sense in taking medication to help with the sensation. So I just decided to live with it, and I've been med free for quite a while now.
If you could go back and change it, would you?
Well, I mean, there's not much to change, except, you know, the weird thing is that after I wrecked at Richmond, they tore the track up and they repaved it and they put the safer barriers. So, yeah, obviously it would have been great to wreck a week later, you know, with the new safer barriers and stuff. But you can't change anything. It's part of time and the way things happen in life. And obviously my time was a bad time. You know, obviously Dale Earnhardt was in, 2000 or 2001, I can't remember, but, you know, things were evolving, you know, with the Hans and everything, and obviously things were getting better, the tracks were getting better, and, you know, obviously they were just a little bit late on Richmond, but you can't do nothing about it. I mean, I wouldn't change anything. I mean, it's part of life. You know, things happen. When something goes wrong, they fix it and they make it better. The same thing, when something goes wrong there, then obviously they fix it. I mean, nobody would have ever thought, you know, Kyle Busch would have busted his legs, you know, hitting at Daytona, but he hit at a perfect spot, you know, a place you wouldn't think that you would hit that hard, and obviously he busted his legs up that day at Daytona, but man, what an amazing I picked him a long time ago. I said, this kid is going to go far, and obviously he did it last year.
Yeah, he was from what he came back from, he was amazing, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, Kyle's a great. The whole Busch family. I mean, Kurt himself. It's funny. I was looking back at some old stuff during the years, and I noticed I won a Winston West race at Las Vegas. I think it was '99, and the guy that got second was Kurt Busch. And I was like, wow, oh my God, I can't believe I beat Kurt Busch that day. But it was my first Winston West race, and he got second. And I thought, man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is.
So
pretty...
yeah, I mean, I'm here and I'm wanting to do something. I feel like I'm excited, and I've got two beautiful kids to show something. But obviously I can't do what I was born to do, which was race. And obviously I'm searching for my next deal.
So how hard is it when you go to like the Chili Bowl or places like that you're around that racing? It just for us. I mean, for me, when I stopped racing. I wasn't as good as you were, but I mean, the thing about it is,
say that again.
But it was, when you give it up, it's hard to give it up. It's just hard to be a part of that.
Yeah, and I tried. Believe me, I tried. I actually was doing well, and I thought I had another avenue where I was helping young drivers, and I got involved with a guy, David Gillen, back in 2004, 2005, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I was spotting for him, and it was getting tough for me. And the last race I did with him was at Kentucky, and I said, David, listen, I can't do anything else. I'm out. I feel like I'm getting really, really depressed being at the track and not being able to do what I love to do. And I didn't know if that was my niche. I mean, I thought it was, and obviously it wasn't working out, but I told him, I said, listen, David, this is my last deal. I said, do what you got to do. You're the man. We spent so much time on the simulator at Kentucky, and he was always like a 10 faster than me, and I couldn't figure out why. And he went out there, and unbelievable, he got in the car. It wasn't a top team car, and he went out there and won the Busch race, and he made it. I mean, he was gone. He was off to Yates, and now I'm not sure who he's racing for now, but he made it to Cup. So the guy's got so much talent, and I seem like I find these guys, and they seem to take off, but it was tough. And again, today I'm helping out, actually doing some ride drives. I'm working for a place called Brakes, where we teach teenagers how to drive cars, respectively, safe, and Bill Herbert, who is an NHRA top fuel guy, used to be. Yeah. He lost his two boys in a traffic accident with his kids, and so he decided to start a school. And I'm one of the instructors where I go in there and teach the kids and do some rides with them. And I just got back. Matter of fact, I just got back about a month ago. I went to Japan for a week doing some ride drives with Lexus. The LF8 at Fuji Speedway. So that was another ordeal that I had a super time. And I wish I could do it every day, but obviously that only comes once in a while.
Well, that's good that you still have that thing where you can go out and do that every now and then to maybe keep things like you want it and be able to be in a car or something every now and then. Jerry, we appreciate your time tonight. I mean, it's really nice. I know you got stuff going on, and I appreciate you calling and calling in tonight and being a part of our show.
I'm glad you're doing well.
And we're glad you're really doing well, and you've always been one of my favorites. And I was at Richmond when you wrecked up there, and I kind of felt kind of bad about that whole thing. But I'm glad you're doing well.
Hey, guys, I appreciate. There's nothing to feel bad. It's part of life, and life goes on, and you just try to make things better. So I appreciate being on your show, and hopefully we'll talk to you again.
All right, man. We appreciate it. We'll get you back on again.
All right, thank you. Take care.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Man, what a guy.
He sounds like he's doing great.
Yeah, I mean, really, I would have a hard time coming back from that, and I'm sure he did for a while.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, I've had a few of those concussions playing football in high school.
Is there?
I feel them every day.
Yeah. How many did you get? Did you hit the wall?
Yeah, I hit the wall a couple times.
We don't hit the wall.
I hit the wall, but I didn't go backwards on the track. I hit somebody, though.
But I got him. But it was good. That was really nice to hear how well he's doing and how happy he is. Because I mean, it's tough being out of the car. I mean, we had Ernie Irvin on and
Well,
how tough it is. But I mean, Ernie's was they didn't know he was gonna make it through the night and to come back and to win at Cup.
Yeah.
And I think he could still do it. It's just his family kept saying, "Look, you can't. There's only so many times you can come back from this."
I'm not really sure. He came back and he won a couple or won a race or something when he came back. But I don't think he was really there.
Oh, I don't think he was 100%.
Full capacity. If you see him today, and I'm not trying to say anything bad about it or anything, but you can tell there's, I've talked to him at Richmond. We stood at the back of Finch's truck and talked to him for a long time, and he told us a whole bunch of stuff about what happened and everything, and you can tell that it's just not. But he's got a new thing he's into with Jared. They're doing their stuff, the racing.
And he is racing a little bit, which is probably fun for him.
Yeah.
I think he's doing some of the Legends racing and stuff.
Yeah, he gets involved with him some. So that's a big deal. Now,
did we miss some of your questions?
No,
we get to talking sometimes. We don't shut up.
You need to when we're going home with things, you need to go. Let us know because we've been doing this for a while together, and we know how to play off each other really well. And I'll look at him, and if I see he looks like he's lost,
which is probably a lot.
Which
I was gonna say it, but
which is 9 times out of 10, I look over that way he's looking.
y'all.
No.
So anyway, our next guest is supposed to be James Martin.
That's who's supposed to be calling, or
That's who's calling, and he's.
I'm just checking.
We've had this problem before.
I mean,
But he now is the owner over at Rockingham Speedway. I don't
And
know
there's
what
supposed to be a lot going on over there.
and the X1 or whatever was that? X Cup.
X Cup.
X Cup.
Full
yeah.
season just got announced at Rockingham. That's gonna be great for fans.
And I think a lot of people's going to love that Rockingham. Somebody asked me, he says, "You think they'll get a Cup date?" No.
No.
There will never, ever. About 99% sure there will
there he is.
never be a
Call
Cup
from
date
Here he
at
is.
Rockingham.
043.
And welcome to Jack Dodsons Racing Insider News with Scott Allen and Reese Nobles. How you doing tonight, Mr. Martin?
Just fine. How you guys doing?
We're doing great, and you got a lot going on with you in the last little bit. So, give us a rundown on what all you got going on.
Well, we've always been busy with our driver development program. We've had the last few years in Level 1 Motorsports. We're still full steam ahead on that, and got a full season of racing coming up with that. But the big news that everybody's talking about is the X Cup Series at Rockingham Speedway. Basically, it's a 10-race series, 8 races on the Big Mile Oval, 2 on the infield road course, using former NASCAR cars and standard late model stock type engines.
So, have you received a lot of interest in getting that thing? Help you get that thing started?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's been pretty crazy. And honestly, really, we mainly just use social media to get the word out. And so I feel like we've only scratched the surface with getting the word out, but at the same time, it's picked up by NBC, it's picked up by Fox. They reported on their websites. And we got tons of interest from drivers. We got 28 drivers signed up, ready to go. It just proved to be a really popular series, and hopefully we can be a big part of getting Rockingham back going.
Now, how many? What kind of things are you looking, or are you looking to make any changes there at Rockingham to where maybe you can run some other type of sanctions or sanction racing there?
Well, and that would be up to Craig Northacker. He runs Vincie Bottle Worker as the lease on the track, and Jim Blakenbaker, the VP of competition and development, and Kurt Trent, who's also in the management down there. I know they're bringing some sports car racing there with the NASA, and there's another stock car series as a date there at the end of the year. But I know they're looking all the time. They want to try to have something going on there 365 days a year, along with their veterans programs. We're looking at a couple of different support series for the X Cup. Nothing finalized yet because all of our hands are pretty full just getting this done. But I think there's going to be a lot going on 2016 and beyond.
So what is this driver development that you do? What kind of cars is it?
Well, basically, we actually do our driver development testing with old former NASCAR cars. But we run late model super trucks with our guys. We run late model stock. This year we're going to hit a handful of cars, tour races. In the past, we ran the NASCAR Modified Tour. We ran those races last year. This year, we're going to try to do some ARCA stuff with one of our guys. He got a pretty good ARCA stuff. And hopefully, just as soon as we can get the green light with one of our guys, we're also going to look at a couple of short track campbell truck races.
So how many drivers do you have?
Right now, at the moment, we have 3. We try to keep a small pool of guys to pull from because they're all at various levels of experience, and we do race in several different series. So, a guy that's ready to step up to a major touring series, it would do him any good to come run our super truck program. So we try to keep between 4 and 6 at any one time. Guys kind of come and go for various reasons, but right now we've got 3 guys that we're working with pretty good. Mark Davis is he's been with us the longest. He's going to run quite a few late model stock races this year. Brian Doolin out of Texas is going to come run some late model races and hopefully some ARCA stuff. And we got a couple other guys that we're trying to get the I's dotted and the T's crossed and get them going as well. So we're going to have a pretty busy 2016.
So how did you come up with the X1 series? X Cup.
The X Cup?
Yeah.
Well, I kind of had the idea floating around in my head for the last couple of years. I mean, obviously, probably as a lot of people know, it's kind of the original Hooters Pro Cup formula. But they grew away from that original formula, way away from it, light years away from it.
Yeah.
And eventually, everybody knows the Pro Cup series went away. And there's hundreds of cars a year that are turned over by, the big NASCAR teams. So there's tons of these cars sitting around that are, basically obsolete now. And you can buy a car that at one time was an $80,000-$100,000 race car for, $5,000 to $10,000 depending. So there's tons of these cars around. The engines that we're gonna allow in are engines that 90% of the guys running short track stuff already have. What they don't are really inexpensive. And it's a really economical series to get to come run on a big mile speedway. That was kind of the last piece of the puzzle for me. I had been kind of trying to get the thing together, but the last piece of the puzzle was a home track that we could really, really work with and partner with and make it happen.
Now, are you guys just going to run solely at Rockingham, or are you eventually going to try to branch out and do a couple little outside races?
Well, these things kind of tend to grow in the direction they want to. So if that opportunity arises, we'll definitely look at it. For 2016, all the races will be at Rockingham. I foresee all the races still being at Rockingham, maybe even 2017. But if the right venue opens up to where it would add to the diversity of the tracks, because we all run at the mile level, we all run road course. Maybe if the dirt track opened up, El Gore is one of those popular races on the truck series. I can see us branching out, maybe doing 1 or 2 special races. We'd like to call Rockingham our home track for as long as possible, but you always have to keep an eye to the future in the world.
So why Rockingham? Why now?
Well, I was pretty fortunate. I've known Jim Blankenbaker, who's part of the management down there for a long time. He and I have been business partners. And basically they were having trouble getting any kind of series at all. And they're not really having trouble, but they were meeting some resistance. They were working in a short time frame. So they basically kind of brought me in and said, hey, can you kind of help us with this? And they approached a couple of different late model type Series, and wasn't getting a whole lot of interest. I think a lot of guys were scared of the whole mile track aspect, and so they kind of asked me, hey, can we develop our own late model series? And I said, well, sure you can, and I kind of laid out some basic, generic late model type rules, and then when we talked about it, I was like, well, guys, you can run a late model anywhere. That's not exactly, new or innovative. How about we look at doing this? And I pitched them the idea for the X Cup series, and they loved it almost immediately. We really like what they're doing with helping the veterans and disabled veterans and all that through vetshelp.org. And it was, and eventually there's actually going to be a support series for the X Cup that's going to be made up of veterans and disabled veterans. But like I said, they just basically jumped on board, and you hate to see Rockingham just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
So for all of us, it was a win-win. It kind of got the X Cup up and going. It helped us be involved with getting the Speedway back. It's going to bring attention to vetshelp.org, and that's and then for Level 1 Motorsports, that's kind of our way we can also get back to the veterans.
Now, you mentioned that it's basically like the old Hooters Cup cars, and of course they've gone completely away from all that. But is your series getting any interest from some of those old Hooters Cup guys that want to come back and try that?
Yeah, definitely. We had a handful of guys contact us and asked us would the old steel body cars be eligible, and as much as I would like to find an outlet for everybody to come and race, there was a couple of reasons why we didn't go that route. One was because those cars just didn't quite have the look that we were going for. We wanted the traditional NASCAR car type look. Those cars are a little bit late modelish looking. Once they got away from the original formula using old NASCAR cars. Plus, eventually that inventory is going to dry up. Those cars haven't been built in a while, and the series hasn't ran in going into 2 years now. So I don't want guys spending money on inventory that's going to be depleted at some point. It's so inexpensive just to get one of these cars to sit around and put it together with our specs. And we just felt like that was the way to go.
Well, now when is your first race scheduled? And give us a little update on how is it going to be, like once or twice a month or whatever?
April 23rd is the first race. And I wish I did. I have a schedule in front of me, but it's on our website, xcupcity.com. They're not. It's a little bit like the Camp World Truck Series. So we're in the beginning, they're a little bit spaced out, but towards the end of the year, they get closer and closer. I can tell you, we will run Memorial Day, which is a Monday, and we will run July 4th, which is also a Monday. Those were 2 dates that were requested by the track, and we were more than happy to give them those dates to time with the veterans aspect of it. It'll end in November, basically in April and November, and it's like anything else. I'm predicting we may be a little bit slow out of the gate, but I really think by the second or third race, it's gonna really grow and expand. And the biggest thing is we've got to make sure we get the fans something different. Not to downplay what NASCAR does. They're the big dogs, and I've competed in my share of NASCAR races, but some of the core group of fans don't like the current product, so we're kind of trying to offer something different. The cars are going to look different from each other. We're going to have Gen 1 and 2 CO2 cars. We're going to have Gen 4 cars and Gen 6 cars. There's no year limit on what kind of car you can bring, as long as it's a former NASCAR or ARCA car. So the cars are going to look different. It's going to have more of a blue collar type feel to it, to where your average guy can put one of these cars together in his home garage and come down and compete on a big historic racetrack and kind of see how he stacks up to everybody else. We're going to try to have a lot of fan interaction. We're probably going to do pit parties at some point. Every race we're going to park the cars in the front straight away and let the fans come out and meet the drivers and that sort of thing. That's the biggest thing we have right now is trying to get the fan base back reacquainted to the track because for whatever reason, when they had the 2 truck races there, the first year was okay as far as fan attendance goes, and then the second year was pretty down.
Yeah.
And I know from the track standpoint, they're working really, really hard on concession prices and inexpensive ticket prices and make it work. Your average family of 4 or 5 can come out to the race. They can get, a couple of hot dogs and a Coke and sit down and get there racing for not a whole lot of money. You get a major speedway and a hot dog's $5 and a drink $8 or whatever. That adds up pretty quickly. You got 4 or 5 family members, and a lot of families are, if we can't go and get the whole experience, we don't want to go. So that's something that also that we've looked at really hard with the track ownership and with the track management to make sure that it's a good experience for everybody.
Well, I tell you what, we're gonna keep it on our list of things, and hopefully we'll be able to get down there and be there for that race and see what all you got going on. I really would like to be down there and be a part of it because I really love Rockingham Speedway.
I guarantee I'll be there. I can guarantee it.
Yeah, we've had nothing but positive feedback from it. And of course, I don't blame people for being a little standoffish about it because the last go around, those guys did a really good job of getting the track back open and actually functioning again, even though it wasn't sustainable. With the new management's approach and with our approach, we're hoping that it's going to be something that the community down there in that area can get back behind and be proud of for years to come.
Well, we can't wait. We'll keep that in mind, and we'll keep letting everybody up here know when it's coming up, so maybe they can get down and check that race out.
Well, please do. We invite everybody to come out and the theme of ours is a little bit of a throwback theme. Like I said, it's mainly blue collar type guys. I guarantee you're not going to see any Cup affiliated cars that are running the X Cup series. It's going to be really cool, and I think it's going to really appeal to the core group of NASCAR and short track racing fans. I mean, it's going to have a bit of a short track aspect to it as well. So we really invite everybody to come out and check us out. And if you like it, next time come bring a friend back.
And we'll do that, and we'll keep putting it out there for you. Well, we appreciate your time. We appreciate your time tonight for calling and talking with us about it. And hopefully we'll get you back on here before the season starts, and you can give us a little update.
Hey, anytime, guys. Anytime. I'm glad to be on. Thanks.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thank you a lot.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
I don't know about y'all. I guarantee I'll be there.
That's going to be interesting.
We'll certainly try to be there. It will be a neat deal.
It's got to catch on. I mean, it's going to be one of those things that's going to.
What did you say? They already had 26, 28?
28 cars. 28.
That's a full field.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll work out. But how things sometimes just kind of get started and.
Well, Rockingham has had a hard time struggle since it's closed. Well, I can't think of his name now.
Hillenberg.
Yeah, had it, and I thought it was doing well there, but apparently not financially. But
well, he kind of felt. I mean, he lost the
truck date.
The
right?
truck date he lost that, and that kind of killed things. And
they had a K&N date also after the trucks, I think.
And then they did.
Did they ever put the soft walls up? For some reason I thought they did, because they had to before the trucks showed up.
I think they did in the turns, but I don't think they did down the straightaways. Did they?
I don't think it did. No, I don't think so. So I looked it up last week. I was doing an article on it. I don't think it did.
But it's really, it's like the Hooters Cup cars. Then they went away and they said it was hard for them to get the cars they needed to run. They wanted to run a different type of car than a late model. So they went to the Pro Cup, which was Pro Cup, and became a late model series. So it's, how will this play out? Now, one of the things that, I don't know, have you been to Rockingham?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
before it closed. Yeah.
It's where it is a problem a little bit.
It is. Yeah, because there's not a tremendous amount of
that's a little bit of a problem, but back in its heyday, it was.
Yeah, I was there when Johnny Benson won his only Cup race there in the one Valvoline.
Well, I was there when Bill Elliott won in the Dodge.
Were you even born then?
I remember Rockingham.
Were you born when Bill Elliott won at Rockingham?
Look, man.
In what car?
The one. It was the one Dodge back then.
Was it became when Dodge the 9. Came back?
Yeah, it was when Rod.
I was alive.
You were 2?
No, now listen. I was a good 11 years old when I was a good. All I
know is Lee was alive because he was there with me. So that's all I'm going to say. So
I mean, I was 8 when Dodge came back. So yeah.
I don't know where you get off on this age thing, man. You really
because it digs under his skin.
I mean, you tell people lies.
I've not told any lies.
Boy, you told me he was 60 years old.
And you know
I
what?
said 60 or something.
You know what? And that's not the only one he told that.
Oh, I'm sure it's not.
Robbie Allison was one.
Oh, I'll ask Robbie.
Yeah, don't
we laughed about it Saturday.
And then he go. Then I'm at Homestead at the last race this year, and this guy just comes up to me that we know, and he comes up to me and he says, "Happy 60th birthday." And see what Scott didn't realize, I might have decked him.
I told you we'll stir something up in a minute.
Oh yeah,
I'm all the way down in Miami.
I'll take credit for that.
I'm all the way down in Miami.
So is that part of the bet now?
That was part of the bet. The Superman socks were part of the bet. Damn it, Grayson.
Grayson, good job. Yeah,
I'm never bet on basketball again.
Well, at first it was just a shout out. I had to put it on Twitter. I'm like, you gotta add something. You gotta make him wear something or something.
I tried to definitely throw you under the bus. I sent him a message trying to get him to come on the show tonight.
I tweeted at him before we went on there and said, "Hey, come on."
But we got to talk about arena racing before we get off, because arena racing was awfully exciting this weekend.
Trying to avoid that.
Why are you trying to avoid it? We don't got any other racing to talk about.
Well,
shoot. All we got to talk about is
and by the way, before we get any further into the arena racing, Mama Testerman and Mr. Testerman, that cake was off the charts.
I know, it was off the charts.
You blew my whole week. Because I'm about to put that cake down.
Is that right?
My wife walked in the door. My wife looks at me and said, "What is that for?" She said, "You're not supposed to be eating cake." I said, "Yeah, but it's going to get eaten."
You didn't give it.
She got some of it, but I mean,
see, we're lucky it's not red velvet. That thing would have been gone.
Well, y'all missed out. I'm sorry. That cake was good.
I mean,
And Mama Testament can cook, so we're going to invite her back on the show 3 or 4 more times.
I heard she can cook. We'll invite back on when Ken wins again.
Yeah, I found out when we go to the arena race, we can go over into the officials thing and eat.
I did not know
I've already done that.
No,
I didn't know.
Keeping it to itself.
I've been stinging water bottles in.
I didn't keep it to
myself.
myself.
You can take whatever you want in. Most people bring food. Last year I had a food sponsor for my arena cars I ran last year.
Of course you did.
Yeah, and that was pretty good.
People still ask. Well, I still get rights to the suite. I still get to use the suite if I want.
What
Johnny
food
Rockets.
And
I still had people this weekend. It's like, what? You got any milkshakes? I'm like, I'm off the free food.
I'm not getting milkshake after this.
But arena racing was hugely entertaining this week. But you know what? I mean, I know both teams are mad at each other. And that's just racing. I'm on either side, but it's a lot of fun, and that's what fans love to see.
I think fans come to see excitement. I don't think they come to see a driver punching a spotter in the stands.
But they like to see the action and the passion in people.
They do.
And I know for me personally, the few years that I ran, I at one time with Jason Maines, and everybody didn't like because they had this big sponsor, and they had Sweet Frogs, and I mean you got the Sweet Frog there, and everybody I'd see fans come up would be like. I'd ask him, who's your favorite driver? He's like, Sweet Frogs. I'm like, daggone Sweet Frogs. And I tried to find another ice cream sponsor of any kind.
Dippin'
And
Dots.
I would have put them on the car for free.
Sure.
And just said, hey, look, Jason, I'm going to talk trash about you because this is just going to spike interest. I'm going to go out there and say, who do you want? Do you want Dippin' Dots to win, or do you want Sweet Frogs and draw some crowd? So they love that.
I mean,
entertainment.
It does bring an entertainment level up.
I mean, I certainly. I mean, I thought it was great.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, it was.
But I agree. I also agree with him that you're not expected to want to see somebody punch somebody. But then again, that seems to be the way it always ends up.
It worked for Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked for Tony Stewart for a while also.
It worked again at the Jelly Bowl too.
Hey, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But no, my thing is, that was an incident. Everyone else blew out of proportion.
I know.
Yeah. You talking about Chili Bowl or?
I'm talking about Chili Bowl.
But I would say go watch the arena race because the next half of the season is going to be super exciting.
It's going to be tough, buddy.
Because neither one is backing down and neither one of them is scared, and I love that.
Yeah, no, I'm barring a suspension.
I mean, I don't like being involved in that, but I certainly
do
love
what?
it. I don't like being involved in
Altercations?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
From what I've heard, you go backwards on tracks. So that's altercation right there.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't let somebody push you around so much.
Yeah, he went backwards on the track. He kicked the guy's car. Of course, it hurt him more than it
it did. It did.
I mean, there was some instances.
I mean, I've done my share. There's no doubt. I mean, it's fun for the fans, and I don't really care. I mean, we're all friends in the garage. I don't mind being the bad guy or the funny guy on the racetrack. That don't hurt I got heavy shoulders or big shoulders. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I don't like not being friends outside the racetrack.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, who was it? I can't think of his name. He's not running this year, but he ran the UVA or VA1 car. And he's run at Southside for years. He's actually banned from Southside. We had him on the show, remember? Lynn O'Neill. And man, there was like half a season to me and Lynn. I did everything I could do to get whatever main he was in. I tried to go to the other one. If he made the A main, I was going to sandbag and get in the B main because we weren't going to pass each other. I mean, it was bad. I mean, I had people coming up and say, I heard there's a bounty out on you, boy.
Yeah, man.
And it all started as he was going by me, and we were going down, the front stretch or the back stretch, and he was kind of squeezing me in the wall.
Of course, it's his fault.
Of course, that's the first rule in racing. It's always the other guy's fault.
It's never your fault.
No, absolutely not. And he was kind of squeezing me, and I'm trying to protect my right front of the car because they brake so easy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I'm not going no further. If he comes up when he did, I just turned left and spun him on the straightaway. And they said it looked a little worse than I thought it did from the windshield.
See, and now you can go to the rear of the field for that.
Oh, you went to the rear of the field then.
Okay, I don't agree with that.
No, I do not either.
No, if I'm gonna spin you out, I'm gonna spin you out for a reason.
I think they did it for the most part so you wouldn't spin somebody out for the win. I think that was
what happened anyways.
Well, but I think that was the purpose. So if you got a few laps to go, if you spin that guy out, you're not going to win the race.
Oh, I'm not spinning out field. I'm spinning out turn 4 last lap. That's what I'm doing. Shoot.
Yeah, but they can withdraw. I've done that, and they will withdraw the checkered flag and put the caution flag back out and do a green, white, checkered. Even though you've already taken the white, arena rules are different. I fought for it. I
mean, I love the arena racing series.
It's a great, fun series.
Yeah, that kid Garrett Main's gonna win one of these races.
The kid is doing an exceptional job.
I'm gonna get him on the show. When
I said something to Jason about it.
Yeah, I said something.
He said, "Oh, so I'll just drive down to Virginia Beach." That's what we can call it. But the kid has done a great job. I mean, and it was fun to watch after he finished second A main. So many guys that have been in the sport for a long time came over, and I was the first one because we're fortunate enough to be able to go across the racetrack.
Yeah.
And take some victory lane pictures. I went over there and it's like, man, you are doing a hell of a job. and it was fun to see the emotion on Jason's face, his dad, after the race. They were going through tech, and I said, damn, man, you finally got a wheel man on this car, you know. And they were over there working on it. Man, the boy finished second in the A main, and they're getting ready. And they were getting ready for the top dog, and they're over there checking the alignment. I come over there, you know me, I got something smart ass to say.
Of course, that's why I'm in this suit.
Yeah. So I said, man, y'all didn't work this hard on this car when Jason was driving. They were like, that's because we got a driver now. But it was fun to watch, and I just can't imagine the feeling that Jason was feeling to have his son run that well.
You always get more excitement out of your son doing something, you know.
Yeah.
I've been there. I know how that works. So.
Yeah.
Well, I sat there in the stands for a race, and I texted him. I said, you know, something tells me Garrett's about to win this thing. And I was damn near close.
Yeah, it was close.
It was close.
All right, well.
Do we know who we got next week yet?
Next week, so far, I've got Allie Kern, who was accepted into the Drive for Diversity program for Rev Racing. She's going to be with us next week. And Matt Kurzieski from the ARCA series. He's going to be driving for Kenny Schrader this year in the ARCA series.
Okay, yeah.
So I got him. I've talked to him. He's going to be here. He's going to call next week. And I've got another lineup on somebody else, but they haven't come back and said they were going to be able to do it yet.
I might have someone.
Well,
Someone who put me in a suit tonight.
Well, I'm already here.
Oh, no, not you.
And then the week after that is
And
Julia.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Julia Landauer, who is signed by Bill McAnally Racing. She ran out at Motor Mile some this year in a Lee Pulliam car. And now she's going to be going to the K&N West Series with McAnally. And she is a former survivor castaway.
That's interesting. That'll be an interesting.
So I got her lined up for the following week, not next week, but the following week. And we've got a big week coming up.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We'll report back after going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I'm super excited.
I can't wait to get there myself. Just hope the snow stays away while we can get down there and get it done and get situated. But anyway, all right. Well, we'll see you all next week, and hopefully Reese won't have to worry about what he wears next week.
Are you going to make a bet again this week? I think you should.
I mean, I gotta see what's going on this weekend. I mean, we knew Panthers are winning this weekend, so.
Yeah, I don't think I'd bet against them.
No, I'm not betting. I will find something to bet on. Next week I'll be in some like pink flag shirt or something.
You gonna be on a what?
Some pink flag or something. I'm not sure.
That'll be good.
Okay, pink flag.
All right, we'll talk to y'all next week. See you later.